Kevin Landrigan at the Nashua Telegraph and LobbyNH.com. Here to reporting from the State House. This first full week of January, the legislature is still sort of up and gearing itself up for the session. So not a real busy week in terms of legislation. That will change in the coming week as hearings will begin in both the House and the Senate, which will be a much more important time. But a few things to talk about. Let's start with the Republican state chairman's race. That's turning into an interesting one. It's going to be decided on January 26th at Bedford High School. But the main competitors are Jennifer Horn, the former two-time congressional candidate from Nashua, and Andrew Hemingway of Manchester, a longtime Republican activist, one of the founders of the Republican Liberty Caucus, also worked on the Newt Gingrich campaign. Jennifer Horn faced a pretty significant controversy in her own personal finances this week when reports confirmed that she and her husband indeed owed the Internal Revenue Service more than $140,000 in unpaid taxes from 2008-2009. A property tax lien was actually placed on their property in 2011 in Hillsborough County Probate Court. Jennifer Horn said, like many families during this tough recession, they've struggled financially. Her husband was self-employed for a period of time, and they're doing their best to erase this debt that they owe with the IRS as quickly as possible. How much will this affect the chairman's race? It really remains to be seen. A lot will have to do with who actually shows up at the Republican state convention that will select the new chairman to replace Wayne McDonald, who's not seeking another term. I think certainly it doesn't help Jennifer Horn, and will make her a target somewhat of the Democratic Party should she become the chairman, when she talks about cutting taxes and talks about fiscal discipline and fiscal accountability. They'll certainly have this to talk about, but in the final analysis, I think Jennifer Horn is going to be the chairman. She's supported by the elite of the Republican Party, which I think makes a difference here. Generally speaking, this position usually goes to the establishment candidate in the Republican Party, and she certainly is that. She has the support of Kelly Ayotte, both former Congressman Frank Ginter, Charlie Bass, former House Speaker Bill O'Brien, and current Senate President Peter Bragdon. So I think that should put her over the top. We'll certainly see. But I think Andrew Hemingway is waging a serious campaign. I think he'll get a lot of support from social and fiscal conservatives, some of the younger, newer members, the Libertarian caucus, if you will. I think will very much support him. I certainly think he can get over 40% of the vote, but we'll see in a couple of weeks. We had a very significant development for commuter rail. I think new Governor Maggie Hassan has signaled that she very much supports studying commuter rail. She said that during the campaign, and I think has certainly signaled that. Transportation Commissioner Chris Clements is also a big supporter of this project, of seriously exploring commuter rail. The Capital Budget Overview Committee had its first meeting, and right on the agenda right away was to resume this study. And the Capital Budget Overview Committee supported it, both the House and the Senate, with only one senator in opposition. I think there were a couple of senators, two, Dave Booten from Manchester, Nancy Stiles from Hampton, both Republicans, were skeptical about commuter rail, but in the main feel that it's at least worth exploring, and this study would give us the financial information we need to know whether it's affordable to bring commuter rail service back from Boston through Nashua and all the way on to Manchester and Concord. The project now goes to the Executive Council, and there's no doubt in my mind the Executive Council is going to approve it. All three Democrats that have been elected on November 6th to replace three Republicans, Chris Pappas from Manchester, Deborah Pignatelli, former counselor from Nashua, and Colin Van Osten from Concord, all support this project, all support the governor in this effort, and I think the council will approve this contract probably at their meeting towards the end of February. That'll put the project certainly back online, but at the end of the day, this financial decision has to be made by the legislature, and we'll await this study. So it's about 15 months away from the real decisions on whether it's going to be commuter rail in New Hampshire or not.